What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for clicking into this video. My name is Joy, and this is my Booktube Newbie Tag. Even though this is not my first video, but this is going to be my first video dedicated to my love of books. And so I have some questions from the tag that I'm going to go through. So you may see me looking down at my iPad, but I just want to, tell y'all about my reading journey and the books that I like to read. And then I'll also share 5 of my favorite books that I've read so far since starting my reading journey. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. All right, y'all. So I got my iPad and I got the questions from the Booktube Newbie Tag. I found this on another creator's video. I forgot her name, but I just recently found her on TikTok and YouTube. So I'll share her channel below. But these are some questions just to get to know me as a booktuber. Let me give a little disclaimer though. My channel is not going to be 100% about books.
Sure about that? You sure about that?
But there are definitely going to be a lot of book videos because it's one of my favorite hobbies. Well, it's kind of my only hobby right now, but I love to read. I love to give recommendations. So it definitely will be a lot of book videos on this channel, but I won't necessarily say that this is a completely this is a booktube channel. Like you can expect to see other things on my channel. I just want to get that little disclaimer.
Okay. Whatever that means.
Okay, so let's start with the questions. Why did you start this channel? Again, this is not necessarily a booktube channel, and I kind of went into what you can expect on my channel in my first ever YouTube video. But as far as book content, I like different types of genres. Like my reading interests are the same as my music interests. I will listen to anything, I will read anything. A bop is a bop. You feel me? So I really want to start this channel to help bring the Black community into some genres that are not as popular, and just share Black authors, just share books that I love in general. And I feel like more people should be reading. More people should be reading for fun. You know what I'm saying? Like leave them self-help books alone and come to the fiction side. You feel me? So I definitely want to join in the conversation that has been ongoing for decades, since the internet was created, and just join in to be a new fresh voice on why you should be reading things that I love and things of that nature. What are some unique things that you can bring? I'm unique. Okay, so I'm bringing myself. But I definitely think that I bring a uniqueness in how I want to talk about books. Like one thing about it, you're never going to get a scathing, hateful review from me, even if I hated the book completely. I'm never going to get on a video and talk bad about a book. Now, Goodreads is a different story. Goodreads and Fable and things like that, that's a different story. But I don't know, I just don't feel like I want to get on the internet and just bash people because it's something I didn't like. So, and I don't like using negativity as a way to gain popularity, if you know what I'm saying. So I think that that's unique to me because some of y'all be too okay with being mean, and I don't like that.
I don't like nothing about that.
What are you most excited for? Okay, y'all, I am most excited about building this community. And then my dream is to have a bookish retreat for the girls. And then we all get matching pajamas. We go to a bookstore tour type thing, and just bring in women of all backgrounds who love to read, who love cutie things, and who want to build a community. That's what I'm most excited for in the long run. So hopefully y'all find my content valuable so that can become a realized dream one day. But I'm just really looking forward to building a community of people who love planners and books and cute things, and just I don't know, that's what I'm most excited for, is building an engaged lit community. Okay. Why do you love reading? I love reading low key. Low key because I feel like it makes me smarter, even though I primarily read fiction. I think that I don't know what that girl on TikTok was talking about, saying that you don't learn anything from reading fiction. She clearly has not read any good fiction books, okay? But I feel like I learned so much about like how people process information. I'm the type of person, if I find something interesting, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole and try to figure out the root of whatever it is. So I feel like sometimes like if I'm reading a fantasy that takes place in obviously a different world, but it's inspired by like a place that is foreign to me, I'll take the time to look up that place. So I don't know. I just feel like I just get smarter as I read more fiction. And that's one of the reasons why I love to read and to escape. Because do y'all see Earth right now? Earth is crazy. Okay. So it's my way to escape and just have fun. So that's why I love to read. When did you start reading? So I think like a lot of adult readers who are finding their passion again, like I used to read a lot as a kid, and then I got into like middle school ish. I started getting into video games. Comment down below if you was one of the people that would just get on Grand Theft Auto and start mad chaos. Like I just used to start chaos, okay? And then I would use the cheat codes to make all the police stars go away. So I went into like that era of my life and then became a teenager. And it wasn't really something that like I felt was cool anymore with my friend circle. Like, and the crazy thing is that a lot of us read now again, so it's mad funny. But anyway, but in 2022, when I was laid off, well, before I got laid off, I felt like I was just spending so much time on social media, just scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. And I felt myself like becoming a potato, like just becoming a vegetable. And I was like, no, like I need to get back into reading because I needed to hold a physical book. Like I needed to touch grass. Real talk. So that's what really led me to get back into reading again. And it's been up ever since. Like since October-ish 2022, just been reading nonstop. What kind of books do you like to read? Like I said, a bop is a bop. So I like anything from fantasy, romance, thriller, psychological thrillers, lit fiction. The one genre that I really don't read too much is horror because I don't like to be scared like that. Like I could get a little thrill, like have you on edge, but straight up paranormal horror type stuff, I don't like that. But right now, like I'm really in my fantasy era. Like I just am obsessed with fantasy right now. So that's usually a genre that I will lean more towards, but I will read anything. Honestly, truly.
Truly, honestly.
Where do I read? Wherever there's a book. Like this is a weird question to me because like, do you mean like physically? I will read in my bed. I will read on the couch. Like wherever I have the book and it's time to read, that's when I'm gonna read. Like what? That's a weird question to me. What does your book collection look like? So it's not that big yet because I I rely on the local library, my local library. I live in New York, by the way, if you didn't know. So the New York City public library system is very vast. I mostly use the Libby app, and Simply E is the New York City Public Library's e-book app. So I use that a lot. But as you can see, like I have some books behind me. I live in New York. My apartment is kind of small. So right now I don't have the funds or the space to be buying my books. So I definitely do rely on a library a lot, but I definitely have a dream of having a home library. I don't necessarily need 1,000 books. Like I want to have my book collection of books that I absolutely love. I'm definitely like a rereader, so I will reread a book that I'm interested in. But yeah, right now it's kind of these. I have some books that I finished stacked in my closet too, but I probably have like 30 books right now and growing. And then the last question will be challenges to overcome. So I think one of the challenges that I'm going to have with reading eventually will be when I go back into getting a nine to five job. Right now, I have so much time to read throughout the day, and so I know it's not realistic to like be reading, for me at least, reading like 2 books a week, if that, like, or finishing a book every week, like when I have like other responsibilities. So that's definitely something that, weighs in the back of my head. But this is such a like part of my personality now that if I have like more than a day that I'm not reading, like I start feeling crazy. So I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal, but it's definitely something that's in the back of my head that I'm like, but I need a job. So yeah. Those are the newbie tag questions. So now let's talk about some of my favorite books that I've read since I started reading again. And let me tell you, it's been some bangers. It's been some bangers. Okay, so like I said, my range of books definitely go the spectrum. Like I don't focus on like one particular genre that I would say is my favorite that I consistently read from. And that's like kind of how I view life. Like I just want to see what's out there with everything. So these are some of my favorite books that I've read since I started reading back in 2022. I recently hit like 100 books or so. So these are like, I wouldn't say they're my top five, but these have been like some of my favorites. First, I want to start off with Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. And y'all, I read this book twice. It is so good. It's the perfect blend of like somewhat thriller, sci-fi. It's a very, very low barrier entry sci-fi, very easy to follow. I feel like Blake Crouch writes his books to be made for TV, and this does have a really great TV adaptation. And it follows Jason as he discovers what life could have been like if he would have made different choices. And it's such a good book. Definitely like has themes of decision making and regret and love and family and friendships. And it's definitely a great read. The next now, I know I said I was only gonna do one book. Well, whatever. But The Shepherd King Duology by Rachel Gillig, y'all. I loved those books. And I didn't even think that book two could get better than book one, but like, oh my gosh, it's so good. The magic system is so unique. The side characters, they made the book. It's so good. It follows Elspeth, who has this nightmare character stuck in her head, and it's their journey of figuring out how to free their realm from this mist that has taken over. And it's just such a good book. So atmospheric, and the characters feel so real. Like it just was an amazing read to me. Y'all, I was sitting here editing. This is Joy from the future. Hey. But I was sitting here editing. I'm like, wait a minute. I forgot a book. I don't know how I could have made a book about my favorite anything without mentioning The Will of the Many by James Islington. This book was one of my favorite reads of 2024, and I gave it 4.5 stars on Goodreads because I was like, how can I give the first look how much I tabbed it. I was like, how can I give the first book of a series 5 stars? But I'm bugging out. This was a 5-star book. I still think about this book to this day. To this day. To this day.
To this day. To this day.
Yeah, but this was definitely one of my favorite books of 2024, and you should absolutely positively read this. Yes, it's a chunky book, and the text is quite small, but it is so worth it. The ending shot me through the roof, bro. Like I had to read the end of this book a couple of times because I was like, what? So I hope that we get some updates on when the next book two, in the hierarchy series, that's what it's called. Book two is called The Strength of the Few. Hopefully we have some updates on that soon. But yeah, y'all, I'm bugging out. How could I forget to add this book to the list? All right, keep watching the video. Bye. One of my favorite romance books of all time is Real by Kennedy Ryan. And when I tell y'all, Canon is like the supreme book boyfriend. I love Real so much because it focuses on. I love Kennedy Ryan's writing rather so much because she focuses on real, no pun intended, but she focuses on real life issues and weaves a beautiful love story. This story follows Cannon and Neva. Neva has lupus, and she's an aspiring actress, and Cannon is a director, and just their journey of finding each other, finding love, finding success. It's a beautifully written story. Kennedy Ryan just re-released it. It has been traditionally published, and it has an epilogue with 7K extra words. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. It is the most perfect romance. A newly finished read of mine that I am obsessed with, I can't stop thinking about it, I'm ready to jump into book 2, is Malice by John Gwynne. It's the first book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. And yo, you want to talk about the perfect fantasy? Like, okay, and I will say, I just started getting into fantasy, y'all. Like, just started getting into fantasy. And I'm in the process of watching Game of Thrones for the first time. And I haven't read the books yet, but it's on my list. But because of that, like, I'm just into like the stories that have multiple characters and following like these characters on their journey. And Malice did such a good job of making me fall in love with the characters, the cast of characters. Like Corbin, that's my little Bookie. I love him so much. But Malice is an epic fantasy that follows like this group of kids that are coming into their own, and like this looming problem that's happening in the background. And so from what I've seen from other people is that this is like traditional fantasy at its peak. So if you're not into like stories that take time to build, because I will say the first 50% was a little slow, but it still was engaging. But bro, the last half of that book had me on edge. Okay. And I flew through it. So I definitely feel like this is a series that I'm gonna love. It's probably will become one of my like top favorite series of all time. I heard that it gets better. Each book gets better, so I'm definitely excited to dive into that. As you can see, I have the Bloodsworn trilogy behind me. I didn't even read that yet, but I saw that I should start with the Faithful and the Fallen, so that's why I'm reading it now before I jump into that later down the line. But Malice has definitely been one of my favorite reads since I've been reading so far. Last but not least is Look Closer by David Ellis. This is the perfect psychological thriller. Okay, when I tell you, David Ellis has a way of like making you think the story is going one way, and then he just like the whiplash be crazy. Okay, this story is so good. You follow this couple that's trying to figure out like how somebody died, and like it's just layer after layer after layer. Like when you get to the end of the book, I was like, what the heck did I just read? Because you was playing me the whole time, Mr. Ellis. You was playing me the whole time. But it's so good. One of my favorite psychological thrillers thus far. And I've also read another book by David Ellis, and he has a very unique way of telling stories, and it's just so, so good. But I'll save that for another video. So yeah, y'all, that's some of my favorite books that I've read so far since I've gotten back into reading. And I definitely will do another video if y'all want to learn more about what I like to read. If you have any comments or anything, let me know what your favorite books have been and what type of bookish content you would like to see from me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.